So hi everyone. I hope you all have had a great week, and I welcome all of you to our weekly community of practice Sunday check-in session, and half hour of Dharma, reflection, and community connections. So if you are a new member of our community, please accept our wholehearted welcome to you. If you have any questions regarding our practices or topics, we are all here to help. So it is customary for people in Australia to begin any meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So I would like to start today by acknowledging the Dharma people as the traditional owners of the land on which Nantian Institute resides. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various land on which you all are, and I pay my respects to the elders in the past, present, and emerging. So the check-in session have been developed by our communities of practice team and the entire community. And the purpose of this session is to develop a reflective practice in response to changes. So guided by humanistic Buddhism, we would like to cultivate our practices and to build memorable relationships. So led by Dr. Jonathan Page and with everyone's genuine sharing, we have had powerful sessions in the past few weeks regarding sadness. Today, Dr. Page is going to add more positive vibe to this journey by helping us to explore the joy of sadness. So let's welcome him.
Thank you, my friends from the 10 directions, and each of us arriving with our own lives rich with emotion, positive and negative, and a deep desire, of course, to be of service. Now, today we must conclude the rich recent season of sadness, as I've called it, which may unfortunately, in concluding, induce some more sadness. So the topic today is the joy of sadness, that remarkable quality of sadness when deeply felt and truly understood, to evoke joy, which is something that I certainly did not realize not that long ago. So sadness and joy live together. But firstly, let's have a short period of meditation together. So make yourselves comfortable wherever you are and gently shut your eyes. And during this brief practice, we'll be focusing on our emotions. So let the eyes soften and begin to relax and approach the meditation with a spirit of curiosity and confidence. And within your mind, notice the posture of your physical body. Are there any points in the body of discomfort, tightness, concern, or any focus of disquiet? However subtle, check particularly around the face, the eyes, the lips, the throat, the chest and the belly, for signs of any emotion, feelings. To elicit inner effective sensation, you might like to place the palm of your hand over the heart area in the center of your chest and slightly to the left, because many emotions are stored there, including compassion, and you may feel your own heartbeat. So within your sense of self, you may notice a certain feeling tone to your mood at this moment, whether this is positive, for example, joy or excitement, or negative. You may feel sad, slothful, bored, or neutral. But even neutral, it may represent a subtle type of calmness. Now, sometimes our emotions or moods may be difficult to identify, and they may be difficult to describe or characterize. And sometimes there can be a mixture of feelings present. We may feel fear and disappointment, shame, and joy all at the one time. And of course, our feelings wax and wane, come and go, and they may be on the surface, or sometimes feelings seem to penetrate deep inside ourselves. And remember, our emotional lives that we feel at this moment connect us to all other conscious beings. So now take your attention to the tip of your nose, to the nostrils. And there we will watch the spontaneous rhythm of our breath. So notice the air moving in through the nostrils, perhaps feeling a little cool and sharp. Filling the lungs, you feel the chest rise. And then after a short pause, the air in the lungs, all by itself, starts to leave and escape through the nostrils. And the air has now warmed up and become soft. And then after the lungs are empty, there is another pause. And then the next breath arises, again, all by itself. Now, sometimes our feelings are reflected in our breath. So therefore, just watch that rhythm of your breath for the next minute. So now when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and perhaps notice any feelings that may be present. Perhaps new feelings that have arisen during the meditation, or maybe some older feelings that you've reconnected with. And let's re-enter the bountiful world of sadness. Now, sadness can provide great insight. Our sadness may reflect certain losses in our lives, a perceived personal failure or disappointment, perhaps when our preferences and hopes and wishes and intentions are just not met. But on reflection, we can see that our fundamental goodness, our Buddha nature, remains undiminished. And likewise, we can see that most of our losses, personal failings, bad luck or unfulfilled wishes simply reflect the nature of life, of reality. And through Indra's net that you can see on the screen, demonstrating the connection that sadness illustrates with other people who likewise feel sadness and other emotions. And so our sadness may reflect the expression of unknown factors beyond our control, the playing out of dependent origination, our misinterpretation of the world, and thus our humanness, our inattention, our attachments, and from time to time, our delusion. There may be aspects of ourselves that we do not fully understand. Sometimes our losses are imaginary or unimportant. And sometimes this perceived loss may actually be of great benefit to us. And we can always address our sadness with soothing and healing self-compassion. We rapidly learn through sadness our deep interconnectedness with other people. And so we can feel the joy of life arise through sadness. A smile of realization appears on our face. A gentle laugh emerges, then a louder laugh perhaps at our sudden, honest self-recognition. This is a virtuous cycle, and we have learned so much. Now, I'm going to just read the poem that you see before you, The Guest House, by Rumi from the 13th century. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, you might imagine, from beyond, from the front door of our consciousness as we wake up perhaps, a joy, a depression, a meanness, perhaps certain thoughts. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. to our guest house. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep through your house, empty of furniture, further losses in other words. Still, treat each guest honourably. He may be cleaning you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So from beyond and outside ourselves. And as the Venerable Master Sing Hun said, suffering or sadness has a positive impact on people's lives. Personal growth comes from experiencing suffering. Thus, there is no need to fear suffering or sadness. And finally, Shantideva, in the way of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhicharyavatara. So many wonderful verses therein. But for as long as space endures, and for as long as living beings remain, until then, may I too abide to dispel the sadness of the world. So, sadness is the key in many respects. And we all together begin our pathway towards bodhicitta. So, there are the questions for today that we can address in the breakout groups that we're going to enter in a moment. So back to you, Yi-Jun.
Okay, so we really hope the check-in session was helpful to you, and we hope you experienced the unconditional love and compassion of this community. But for anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and you can also reach out to the professional organizations on the screen. And before we check out today, I would like to draw your attention on a few amazing events and opportunities. The first one is on next Tuesday is Dr. Louis Lancaster's second lecture in the Encountering Life series. And the topic is about desire, measure of motivations. Also, the 8th Symposium on Humanistic Buddhism will be held between November 6th to 8th. This year, the theme is Response to Modern Crisis. And many of our COP members will also contribute their wisdom and compassion in the symposium as well. So if you are interested, you can register online. And also a kind reminder for anyone who are interested to study at NTI. So the deadline to apply for Xingyun Education Foundation Scholarship of this round is by October 15th. So go for it to review your unlimited potential with NTI for yourself and for the world you are connected with. So as we check out today, let's recite the dedication of merits together to send love and compassion to whoever in need.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
Okay, so Jonathan has been a wonderful facilitator who helped us to gain courage and wisdom to embrace sadness with joy and hope. So for October, we will welcome another wonderful facilitator, Dr. Katerina Todorolo, who is the founder and CEO of an Institute for Higher Self-Education and an invaluable member of our community. So thank you everyone for joining us again. Our next Sunday session is same time at 11 a.m. in Australia. But daylight saving time starts as October 3rd. So people in other places around the world, please check your time again. And now is our post check-in discussion. And I would like to give the floor to Venerable Juewei, since today is a special day of our Sunday check-in session.
Thank you so much, Yijun, and thank you, Jonathan, for facilitating this season of sadness. Today is a very special day indeed, because it is the 50th episode. Big number, 50. We made it this far. I just cannot imagine that we've come this far. When our intention last year in October, when we launched this series, was to go only 13 sessions from October through to the end of December 2020. But due to popular demand, that's your demand, we managed to make it to the 50th session. And we only could make it this far thanks to the willingness of facilitators, Jonathan and Joey stepping in, and later Cecil, Remy, and Katya. It actually takes quite a lot of work to construct those 5 minutes that we all have a benefit, that we all benefit from before each breakout session. Also to hosts, Priscilla, Katya, Yijun, Xiaomong, and Joyce, plus the poster team, comprising Chris Zaslowski, Yijun, Xiaomong, Amy, Paula, and I know not how many other hands that put those beautiful weekly pictograms together for us to enjoy. Then there are also many people behind the scenes. You know, we've got Joe and Dean as well, who helped several occasions as our IT magic experts. Then there's Stephen Hill, our advisor, and Liam, our auto editor. And recently, Mike Mullins and his team starting this Wednesday C6P cafes and Facebook page. So I want to thank Priscilla and Joe for their indefatigable spirit to hold this space for all of us, week after week for 50 weeks. And besides expressing my heartfelt gratitude, I just want to share a piece of art that I thought would befit the occasion. This was made in March 2020, so a year and a half ago. And at a time when I knew that we were going into a pandemic, I sculpted this. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a little sculpture that I made, very small and tiny. But here it is. I think it reflects the pause. Thank you for spotlighting me. Right. So you can see this little novice monk, I would say, on the reflective pause.
Ooh.
Well, it kind of is recognizing that inner nature of calm and equanimity against all odds. So I hope that these check-in sessions is an opportunity for all of us, week after week, to cultivate that little habit of not just reacting to things that are happening around us, to perhaps a lot of our emotions that well up in us, but instead to remind ourselves of our Buddha nature, that there is this sense of calm that we can access, very much like that image, the virtual background that I have too, and reflecting back to us all the time, the beauty of the clouds, the skies, the trees, even though it's a reflection. So, yeah, sometimes you have a phone that rings at the wrong time, and we'll just have to let that go. So, how apt, right? But I hope that we have an opportunity to take a glimpse into our Buddha nature during this period. and will continue to do so. So I want to say thank you to everyone for making it possible for all of us to have come together to build this habit, to connect in a community, and to go back into thinking of what it's like to be human and what it really means. So thank you, everyone.